There comes a moment in the life of every warrior of faith when the weight of despair begins to crumble beneath the force of hope, when the darkness that once surrounded them is pierced by a light no shadow can extinguish. You've walked through valleys of heartbreak, endured storms that threatened to drown your spirit, and stood firm when the world gave you every reason to break. You've questioned, wrestled, and risen again, even when no one was watching. And now, the tides are turning. The heavens have heard your whispered prayers and seen your quiet resilience. The chains that once bound you are breaking, and the season of restoration is here. What was meant to harm you will now propel you, and those who doubted your strength will stand in awe of your divine triumph. This message is a lifeline for the weary soul who has weathered the fiercest of storms, for the one who feels stretched thin but refuses to surrender. You've walked through fire and carried burdens that no one else could see, yet here you are, still standing. Heaven sees you, and the weight of your struggles has not gone unnoticed. This is your moment of confirmation, a divine whisper reminding you that your pain was never in vain. Justice is coming, restoration is near, and the battles you thought would break you are transforming into the victories that will define you. If this resonates with your spirit, hold on to this truth. You were brought here for a reason. Let this be your sacred reminder to rise, believe, and step boldly into the blessings that are unfolding. The best is yet to come. Your tears are no longer a sign of weakness. They are a testament to your resilience. What once felt like the shattering of your spirit has become the reshaping of your soul. There was a time when every tear carried the weight of despair, each drop a silent scream for mercy in a world that seemed indifferent to your pain. But now, those tears are no longer cries of helplessness. They are a cleansing, a release, a healing flow that washes away the remnants of what tried to break you. Each tear is a declaration that you are still here, still standing, still growing. They no longer signify loss, but renewal, no longer reflect defeat, but transformation. What once felt like the end has become the beginning of something sacred, a reflection of the strength that rises within you. God has transformed your pain into power, your wounds into wisdom. Every tear you've shed has been gathered, not wasted, and each one has watered the seeds of strength now blooming within you. What once felt like unbearable sorrow has become the foundation of your resilience. Those tears no longer speak of defeat, but of a heart that has endured, healed, and grown. They are the markers of your transformation, evidence of a soul refined by trials and fortified by grace. You're no longer falling apart, you're rising higher. You're no longer defined by what broke you, but by how you've been rebuilt, stronger, wiser, and ready to walk boldly into the purpose God has set before you. Your tears no longer weigh you down, they lift you higher. In the stillness of your heart, God whispers, "Every tear you cried was a building block, not a burden. I've turned them into jewels for your crown." The same voices that once ridiculed you now fall silent, unable to comprehend the strength you carry. They mocked your struggles and celebrated your stumbles, convinced you would never rise again. But what they failed to see was the unseen hand of grace, cradling you in the darkest moments. While they mistook your pain for defeat, heaven was crafting your victory. Now you walk with a confidence that defies explanation, a peace so profound it unsettles those who doubted you. It's a peace born not of the absence of storms, but of the presence of God within them, a peace that declares loudly, even in silence, that you are unshakable. They see you now and are left speechless, unable to fathom the transformation that has taken place within you. You carry a light that no darkness could extinguish, a joy that no hardship could steal. There's no trace of the pain you endured, only the radiance of someone who has been refined by trials and held by grace. You walk with a quiet strength that speaks louder than words, a peace that unsettles those who once doubted you. Your power doesn't come from the absence of wounds, but from the healing that has turned them into wisdom. You are untouchable, not because life spared you, but because you are held by a force far greater than anything this world can offer. Their attempts to break you only revealed the unshakable strength within you. Every dart they aimed, every word meant to wound, fell powerless at your feet because God fortified your soul with resilience. You didn't need to fight back. Your silence became louder than their noise, your stillness more powerful than their chaos. The peace you carry now is your armor, a divine shield that they cannot penetrate or understand. It radiates from you, not as a defense, but as a quiet victory. It's a peace that disarms their hostility, a calm that leaves their weapons useless, and a strength that speaks volumes without ever needing to shout. They thought they'd defeat you, but instead, they witnessed the rise of someone unstoppable. Now, those same mouths have nothing left to say. The voices that once tore you down now watch in stunned silence as you rise beyond their expectations. You remember every word meant to break you, but instead of bitterness, you carry gratitude, for those very words became the fuel for your perseverance. What once haunted your nights now motivates your days, and what once made your steps heavy now propels you forward with purpose. Their laughter has faded, their whispers have ceased, and in their place is the undeniable truth of your triumph. You've become living proof that what was meant to destroy you only made you stronger. There were moments when the weight of their doubt felt unbearable, when their voices seemed louder than your own. You almost let go, not because you lacked strength, but because the battle felt endless. Yet something deep within you refused to quit. It was a quiet, unshakable knowing that God had written more to your story, that this was not the end. So you pressed forward, step by step, through the noise and the shadows. And now, the silence of their disbelief is deafening, replaced by the echo of your faith fulfilled. You didn't just survive, you rose, and in doing so, you silenced every voice that ever told you to stop. The voices that once shouted with scorn have been silenced by the undeniable evidence of your rise. They can no longer ignore what stands before them, a life transformed, lifted by a power far beyond their understanding. Every word they spoke in doubt, every attempt to hold you down, has been overshadowed by the light of grace that now surrounds you. You didn't need to fight, to argue, or even to prove them wrong. God's hand did all the speaking. What they tried to destroy has flourished. What they mocked has become a testimony. Now, they watch in humbled awe as you walk in purpose, a living reminder that no earthly plan can stop a divine destiny. Now, the paths you once struggled to find are unfolding before you with ease. The same hands that once knocked in vain now receive blessings you could never have imagined. The seeds you watered with your tears are blooming into a harvest so abundant it takes your breath away. You no longer chase opportunities, they chase you, drawn by the light of God's favor that surrounds you. Doors are opening that you never even dreamed of, and the spaces that once ignored your presence now make room for your voice. This is not the result of chance or effort alone. This is the reward of faith, the fulfillment of promises whispered over your life. It's a season of divine overflow, where every tear, every prayer, and every act of perseverance has been accounted for and returned 100-fold. The years you thought were lost are being rewritten with purpose and abundance. Every moment of pain, every silent prayer, and every hidden act of faith has been counted, and now the heavens are pouring out what was always meant for you. The harvest springing up around you is not by chance. It's the manifestation of seeds sown in trust, even when you couldn't see the outcome. You're stepping into a season where restoration flows like a river, washing over everything that once felt barren. This is more than a reward. It's a divine declaration that nothing you endured was in vain. And the most beautiful part? You don't have to strive for it. God's blessings are chasing you down, bringing with them the justice and restoration your soul has longed for. Now, you sit at a table that speaks louder than any words ever could. The very ones who once sought to tear you down are watching as God lifts you up. You no longer pray for their removal because you've realized their presence is part of the testimony. God didn't shield you from their eyes. He positioned you in their sight so they could see His power at work in your life. What was meant to break you has only built you stronger, and now you feast in peace, untouched by their bitterness, surrounded by divine favor. The table was never about revenge, it was about revelation, showing them and reminding you that no enemy can stop what God has ordained. Now they watch in silence as you walk with a confidence that cannot be shaken. You no longer dim your light to make others comfortable, nor do you seek their approval to validate your worth. The peace within you is unshakable, not because life is without challenges, but because your trust is rooted in something far greater. You thrive not by avoiding storms, but by standing firm in the midst of them, radiating a strength they cannot understand. This is not the absence of struggle. It is the presence of divine assurance, a calm that speaks louder than any chaos around you. You are no longer defined by their opinions, but by the unyielding truth of who you were always meant to be. Your life is now a masterpiece on display, a testament to the power of grace and resilience. The table before you is adorned with blessings that overflow, each one a reminder of battles won and prayers answered. Your enemies, though uninvited, cannot deny the beauty of what God has done. They watch, not out of choice, but because they are witnesses to a glory they cannot diminish. Every moment of your elevation is a declaration that what was once undervalued has always been sacred. This isn't about revenge, it's about redemption, a divine spotlight revealing that what they tried to tear down was always destined to rise higher. You'll lift your cup with a quiet confidence, not out of pride, but as a testament to the faithfulness of God. This moment isn't fueled by vengeance, it's a celebration of restoration. It's the turning of the tide, where everything meant to harm you has been transformed into the very platform that elevates you. The honor you now walk in is not just yours. It's a reflection of divine justice, a proclamation that the overlooked, the underestimated, and the broken are never forgotten. Your victory is a living promise that every battle fought in faith will end in triumph, and no opposition can stand against what God has ordained. You've traded the weight of resentment for the freedom of grace. There was a time when proving them wrong felt like your purpose, when their doubt lit a fire in you that kept you moving. But as healing took root, you discovered a deeper strength, a strength that doesn't need applause or vindication. Now, you're driven by something purer, the peace that comes from within, the joy that doesn't depend on anyone else's validation. You've released the need to settle old scores because you've learned that true victory isn't found in their defeat, but in your own wholeness. This is what it means to rise above, to walk in a grace so profound that it reflects the hand of God on your life. God reached into the hidden corners of your soul, the places no one else could see, and poured His grace where bitterness once festered. He lifted your thoughts above the chaos, teaching you that peace is a higher ground that cannot be shaken. Your heart no longer carries the weight of grudges or the sting of old wounds. Instead, it beats with the rhythm of forgiveness and freedom. In this newfound wholeness, your healing speaks louder than any words of retaliation ever could. It is your quiet strength, your unshakable joy that leaves those who doubted you speechless. What once sought to break you has become the foundation of your triumph. They anticipated chaos but were met with calm. They prepared for a battle but witnessed your surrender to peace. The true defeat of the enemy lies not in their destruction, but in your decision to rise above their schemes. You didn't stoop to their level, you elevated to a higher plane of grace and wisdom. Forgiveness became your armor, and healing became your victory song. This is the power of a chosen one. You don't just survive the storm, you emerge from it as someone unshaken, someone transformed. You turn their expectations into ashes, not through vengeance, but through the brilliance of a soul that refused to be diminished. Your name is traveling farther than your feet ever could, carried by whispers of favor and grace. Behind the scenes, in spaces beyond your sight, God is orchestrating opportunities you never imagined. Hearts are being stirred to remember you, to recognize your gifts, to honor your journey. Doors are being unlocked in places you didn't even know to knock, and blessings are being prepared with your name written on them. What's unfolding isn't luck. It's divine alignment, a reminder that what is meant for you will always find its way to you, even from the most unexpected places. There's a divine glow resting on you, subtle yet powerful, drawing attention in ways you could never orchestrate on your own. This is not random, it's God's deliberate hand at work, positioning you where His purpose can shine through you. Heaven itself is your advocate, planting your name in the minds of those who hold keys to doors you never even saw. While you labored quietly, staying true in the unseen and the uncelebrated, God was building a platform that no human can dismantle. This is your season of unveiling, where His favor speaks louder than any effort ever could. The ones who doubted you, who tried to hold you back, are now spectators to your ascension, stunned by the grace that carries you higher. Those who whispered about your failures now stand in awe of your victory, unable to fathom how the very foundation they tried to shake has become the platform of your rise. What was once planted deep within you, your purpose, your strength, your light, is now breaking forth for the world to see. This isn't about recognition or applause. This is destiny unfolding, a divine unveiling that serves a purpose far greater than their understanding. God is preparing a table for you where your enemies once schemed against you, and they have no choice but to watch as favor surrounds you. The winds of change are blowing, and they carry the weight of divine justice. Everything that was meant to harm you is being turned into the very foundation of your elevation. The ones who underestimated you, who dismissed your worth, are now witnessing the unfolding of a plan they can neither stop nor understand. What they thought was your end was only the beginning of God's masterpiece. This isn't coincidence or revenge, it's the righteous hand of God lifting you higher while dismantling the pride of those who sought your fall. What they intended to bury you with has instead become the foundation for your growth. The ashes of what was meant to destroy you are now the fertile ground for your greatest blessings. Beauty is rising from the ruins, and the very pain that tried to break you has become the platform for your strength. Your scars are no longer marks of defeat. They are testimonies of resilience, reminders of a God who turns mourning into dancing, despair into hope, and trials into triumph. What was meant to silence you has only amplified the story of His faithfulness. You are stepping into a destiny far greater than they ever imagined for you, and now they're witnessing what only God could orchestrate. Every limitation they placed on you, every word spoken to diminish you, is being overshadowed by the undeniable evidence of God's hand on your life. Your rise isn't fueled by revenge, it's a testament to redemption, a living, breathing display of what grace can do. This victory isn't just yours, it's a beacon of hope for others, a reminder that when heaven moves on behalf of a heart that refused to quit, no force on earth can stand in the way. Your heart feels freer, like chains you didn't even realize were there have fallen away. Peace is taking root where chaos once lingered, and joy is bubbling up like a spring in the desert. The heaviness that weighed you down has been replaced by a calm assurance, a quiet strength that whispers, "It's over now." This isn't just emotional relief, it's the touch of God, restoring what was lost and renewing what was broken. The battles you fought in silence have been seen, and now you're stepping into a season of rest, of grace, of unshakable joy. This lightness isn't fleeting, it's the dawn of a new chapter filled with blessings you can't yet imagine. Beloved, the trials you faced were never meant to break you, but to build you into the masterpiece God always intended you to be. The fire you walked through purified your spirit, and now the heavens are opening to pour out blessings beyond measure. Every tear you shed was a prayer in disguise, every heartbreak a stepping stone toward your divine destiny. The tables are turning, and what was once your pain is now your platform. You are stepping into a season where your struggles will serve as proof of God's faithfulness, and your story will inspire others to keep the faith. This is not just a new chapter, it's a divine unveiling of the greatness within you. This is the Lumination Inner Order channel. If this message touched your soul, Type 11 to 111 in the comments and claim your divine inheritance, and subscribe for more divine confirmations. Stay expectant, stay faithful, and know that you are deeply loved, chosen, and destined for glory.